This video will show you how to use the menu navigation editor in Confluence, or in this example in our Linchpin Intranet implementation. Find out more about the navigation menu editor on our website. You can find it by searching for navigation menu editor in Confluence for Google, or there's a marketplace entry on the Atlassian Marketplace with reviews and a download option and so on. However, in this instance, it's already installed. So this is the navigation menu editor. It has normal menus, flyout menus, and it can do personalization. If you are eligible, you can also edit the navigation. You don't have to be an administrator to do that. Even people who are in a special group that we can configure, I'll show you later, can edit the navigation. Let's look at the admin area. We go in the general administration area and navigation editor. Menu editor, I'm sorry. There are three elements. One, help, easy. You got some help on how to use it, and there's a lot of filtering and configuration going on that is documented here, and it's also on our website. We're interested in the settings and the structure part. So the question is, do you want the navigation to be on top or not? Yes. Should it be a flyout or a plain navigation? Should the menu be shown for anonymous, non-registered users? Yes or no? And then this is already for personalization. So do you want to choose profile fields on which basis you want to personalize the appearance of the navigation? So if someone speaks a different language, like one speaks English and the other speaks German, you may want to give them different navigations. One would get an English navigation and the other a German navigation. And this can be done with these personalization elements. Then this is already the case that I showed you. If you want people who are not administrators to be able to edit the menu, you can add them here, or you can add a group, and then, for example, Alicia Tietz, the user, will be able to edit the menu, although this user may not be a Confluence administrator. Every Confluence administrator can also edit the menu, no matter if they are added here or not. Then there's a versioning for the structure, and it gets locked so that there are no concurrent editing. If the menu is locked and you feel that someone just abandoned his work, you can unlock the menu here. The structure is how you actually create the plugin, and this is shown here. And this can become quite complex, as the amount of menu elements isn't easy to be overseen by new users. We even have Hebrew language for Israel employees here. So just scrolling up and down takes time, and it also takes a little time to understand how this works. So as bad as it is, there is some complexity in creating fully personalized menu navigations. So one tip that we could give you is, if you're a very small organization, something below 100 users, it's probably best just to give one navigation to all of your users. If you have, for example, 5,000 employees or 10,000 employees, you'll definitely want to make sure that the navigation is something that really helps people to navigate and to orient in your system. And then personalization will really kick in as a big advantage. What you can do to get an overview is you can say, let's assume I was in Frankfurt and I was in Deutschland. And then we can look at a menu, how it will be looking for this user in Frankfurt and Deutschland. Let's put away Frankfurt and do another preview, and then you see that people who don't have a subsidiary will only get those three. And let's do the same for USA. And you see this is the basic navigation for the US. And then add Washington. And in the preview we'll see that this navigation then also has news and Washington elements in navigation. That's the preview. There are additional options like a history of the structure. We'll look at that later. And we can omit this as well at this point. So let's look at the table real quick. So basically you have an ID that helps you orient. So 1.1 is obviously below 1. And let's see whether we have something below that. So 5.1.1 is below 5.1, but then 5.2 is like the next. And you also see that we try to help you with a visual representation of the hierarchy of the elements. Like the main element is a dark gray, and a light gray is a subcategory, and then the pages or elements are in white. This is how far we go at this point. Actually, you can go even deeper, but the deeper you define a menu, the more difficult it also is for people to navigate through this. So we highly recommend, if you create such navigations, that you make them broad and not steep. So rather have 7 or 9 elements instead of 3, and then, I don't know, going through 5 or 6 hierarchies. However, let's go further. So we have the ID. The title is obviously what is on the menu itself. So if I preview the navigation, all of these things here are titles. This is a title, and this is a title, and this is a title. Then there's a category or a link. So there are elements like news. I cannot click on news because this is only here to pop out the submenu items. This one I can click on, and then I go to a page, which you can see in a status line down here. But there are also, like this one, subcategories, and so the links will be shown on a category also. Then the next 3 things are the personalization: branch, country, department. And those are dynamic. So depending on what I put into settings here, branch, country, department, this will change. So if I put in, I don't know, I want to do personalization by email or by position or by any other element that I could put in the profile, and all these can be configured, then the structure here, the personalization, would also change. At this point, the navigation menu editor only shows 3 options for personalization. We have now like the department or the location or the branch, which is for these, this is Berlin, then the country and the department. So this element here, Urlaubsplan, it will only be shown if the user is in Berlin, comes from Germany, and is in the IT department. Even if they are in Berlin in Germany and they are from, let's say, HR, they won't see this element. And this element here, those three, they will be shown to everyone who has Berlin as their location. And this will only be shown to people who have Frankfurt in their location. Same goes here for Washington, same goes here for Tel Aviv, same goes here for Germany or Deutschland. And then again Berlin, and then Frankfurt again, and then USA. I think now you get the point why this is so long. Because for every variation, we'll create a different navigation. So the bigger your company is, the longer and the more complex this will be. As soon as you make a change here, for example, if you want to have handbook and new employees changed, you could just like take this and pull it on the bottom, or you could, now this is a sub element which I don't want, so I'm gonna make it reduce the depth of this item. So click here, and now this is what I wanted. Or I could use these arrows to move this down, or again up. If I want the handbook to be a sub element of new employee, I could just move it in, move it out. And I can also edit it, like just click here. And also for this, for example, I can type in something and it will help me find the right elements in Confluence directly. I can also have simple links, so I could have a link to Google. This icon here means that the link will open in a new window. I recommend not to use it, but in some rare occasions we had customers who really needed that and wanted to do it. This here will be the personalization. Please make sure if you use the personalization that you do not make any typing errors. So if you miss or mix up letters in here, it will never be shown because it's impossible for the profile to have the right condition to show this element. So this is kind of important that you don't have spelling errors in the personalization here. And then you can obviously delete that. And I can save the changes and not publish the menu. Like, you can do all sorts of changes, look them through with your team, and then publish that later. Every change, as long as you don't cancel it, which I do, will be reflected in the navigation history. Let's look at this real quick. So here's the history. And here you can see who made which change when. And you can roll back to this version of the navigation. And as you can see, that's quite a few changes that we've made in the past. So that's the history. There's also the option to export the whole navigation into a file, which is a JSON file that will sit on your hard drive. It's a very small file. Let's look at that very quick. It's more for the technicians under you. So this is how it looks like. And you can obviously also import this file to get this navigation in a different instance. So far, so good. Let's look at this to end it on the front end. So this Theo Schröder guy that I'm with at this point is in Washington, so here's this Washington navigation in English. And if you click on the profile and just click edit here, this is something that normal users wouldn't be able to do, but in the demonstration instance, we make this available for demonstrations like this. So I'm just going to pretend that Theo is going to be in Germany, Frankfurt, with public relations. And when we now save, you see that the navigation has changed. So it's now all German. It matches the location in Frankfurt, also has onboarding information, and so on. So, yeah, the navigation menu actually works. If you have any questions, if I didn't cover everything, please feel free to contact us. We're happy to help. If you want to try it out, go to our website, contact us. We're going to give you a jar, or you go to the marketplace, or within your Confluence instance, you just pull up the Universal Plugin Manager and add the navigation menu editor by Seabed Media. We're very eager to get your feedback on this. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you soon. Bye-bye.